In a significant setback for the Trump administration, a U.S. judge has temporarily blocked their plans to dismantle the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID. Judge Carl Nichols, appointed by Trump himself, issued the order after unions representing federal and foreign service workers filed a lawsuit. The lawsuit argues that the administration's attempt to dismantle USAID is unconstitutional. The administration had intended to place a staggering 2,200 USAID employees on paid leave. This would have left a skeleton crew of only 611 essential workers out of a workforce exceeding 10,000 individuals. The implications of such a drastic reduction in staff would have been far-reaching, potentially crippling the agency's ability to carry out its vital work around the globe. The Justice Department, under the leadership of Brett Shumate, has defended the administration's actions. They cite allegations of corruption and fraud within USAID as justification for the attempted dismantling. However, the judge's temporary block will give the unions an opportunity to present their case against the administration's move. This legal battle will likely have significant implications for the future of USAID and its role in U.S. foreign policy. The judge's decision has been met with mixed reactions. Supporters of USAID see it as a crucial tool for promoting development and democracy around the world. They argue that dismantling the agency would be a grave mistake, undermining U.S. interests and global stability. Opponents, however, view USAID as a bloated bureaucracy, ripe for reform or even elimination. They believe that the administration's actions, while perhaps heavy-handed, were necessary to address alleged mismanagement and corruption within the agency. Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, has come under intense scrutiny, flagged as a potential insider threat by a U.S. Treasury threat intelligence analysis. DOGE, the brainchild of the tech mogul, has been granted access to government payment systems, a decision that has raised eyebrows and sparked concern among officials. Critics argue that DOGE's access to sensitive financial information poses a significant risk, given its unconventional structure and lack of oversight. DOGE is staffed primarily with young individuals boasting impressive technological prowess, but limited experience within the intricacies of government operations. This inexperience, coupled with their access to internal systems at various agencies, has fueled anxiety among lawmakers, particularly Democrats like Chuck Schumer. They question the rationale behind granting such broad access to an entity outside the traditional government framework. Supporters of DOGE counter that its unorthodox approach is precisely what makes it so effective. They argue that DOGE's tech-savvy team is uniquely positioned to identify and eliminate inefficiencies within the government, ultimately saving taxpayers money and improving services. Musk himself has vehemently defended DOGE, lauding its work in uncovering what he claims is widespread corruption within various government agencies. The controversy surrounding DOGE highlights the growing influence of technology and Silicon Valley on the American political landscape. As tech giants like Musk become increasingly intertwined with government operations, questions about transparency, accountability, and potential conflicts of interest are likely to intensify. The future of DOGE and its access to sensitive government systems remains uncertain, subject to ongoing investigations and the shifting political winds. President Trump has once again sent shockwaves through Washington, D.C. with his pronouncements on key domestic issues. He has stated his intention to dismiss FBI agents involved in investigations related to the January 6th Capitol riot, alleging corruption and bias within the agency. This declaration has sparked outrage among Democrats and some Republicans, who view it as an assault on the rule of law and an attempt to obstruct justice. Adding fuel to the fire, Trump has reiterated his long-held desire to dismantle the Department of Education. He argues that education is primarily a state and local issue, and that a federal department is unnecessary and counterproductive. This stance has been met with fierce opposition from educators, parents, and Democratic lawmakers, who believe that the Department of Education plays a vital role in ensuring equal access to quality education for all students. Trump's unwavering support for Elon Musk's DOGE continues to be a source of contention. He has praised DOGE's efforts in exposing alleged government corruption and defended their access to sensitive information. This unwavering backing has further fueled suspicions among critics who believe that DOGE's true purpose is to advance Musk's own interests rather than serve the public good. The president's recent pronouncements underscore the deep divisions that continue to plague American politics. His confrontational approach and willingness to challenge long-held norms have alienated many, while his unwavering base remains steadfast in their support. As his presidency continues, the battle over the role of government, the balance of power, and the future of American democracy will undoubtedly rage on. President Trump's foreign policy continues to be characterized by unpredictability and a disregard for traditional diplomatic norms. His recent actions have strained relations with long-standing allies and adversaries alike, raising concerns about America's standing on the world stage. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's recent visit to Washington, D.C., only the second by a foreign leader since Trump's re-election, was overshadowed by lingering tensions over trade and security issues. Despite attempts to present a united front, differences in approach and priorities between the two leaders were evident. Trump's decision to impose sanctions on South Africa, citing alleged human rights violations, has further inflamed tensions with the African continent. The move has been widely condemned by human rights groups and African leaders as a counterproductive measure that will only serve to isolate South Africa and hinder progress on critical issues. Meanwhile, Trump's previous comments about taking over Gaza during former Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit continue to reverberate throughout the Middle East. These statements, widely perceived as insensitive and inflammatory, have further complicated efforts to broker peace in the region and fueled anti-American sentiment. As Trump continues to chart his own course on the world stage, the international community grapples with the uncertainty and instability that have become hallmarks of his foreign policy. The long-term consequences of his actions for global order and America's place in the world remain to be seen.